Thank you for joining us today. My name is Elle, and I'm joined by, as
I'm
always,
Reed.
And Danny.
Awesome. So today's podcast, first of all, welcome back. It is the new year, seeing in 2020 now.
Wow.
Crazy.
Reed is with his glasses.
Okay, so this is Voice Podcast, which is designed for you and gives you an inside look on all things being a student at St. Lawrence College entails. If you hear something you like, have a topic idea, guest suggestion, or anything else that relates to this podcast, please let us know by calling our extension 1677. Like us, leave a comment, and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. So today we're going to be talking about getting you ready for coming back to school. And on top of that, I think we're going to talk a little bit about resolutions. So our resolutions as a whole, are they good idea, bad idea?
Just the concept of the whole idea of resolutions and maybe some resolutions that we had for ourselves and how we're going to accomplish those goals and maybe some stories that we have about resolutions.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, let's get into it.
So, Elle, why don't you tell us a little about some of the events that we have going on come January? Well, now it's January.
Yeah.
And so what can students expect when they come to the college?
So there's lots going on, especially in January. So, and in the winter semester too. So we'll have a ski trip. We'll have a hockey
where are we
game. We usually go to Calabogie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we'll go to Calabogie. We'll have some fun, and then there's a NHL game.
Nice.
Very
So it's
cool.
usually Sens that we'll go see.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
And then there's always lots going on in the pub.
Right.
So they have pub nights Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
So there should be some live music on some nights. I think we're talking about having a welcome back party in January.
Nice.
So that'll be super fun. Make sure that you keep your eye out on our Instagram page and all the bulletin boards
What's the Instagram handle?
at SA_SLC.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll always post about it, and they're super, super fun. We get to just hang out with students and do different kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
So
a great
that'll
way
be
to
fun.
interact with your school and all your peers that are within St. Lawrence.
That's right. And, I like going to the pub because it's like, it's not just there with your friends or whatever. You know, everyone shows up, So
It's an intimate space,
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And, you go and you drink a beer or you eat some, a burger or something. And it's great. It's a lot of fun. I really do like
Yeah,
the
and there's
pub.
always specials and stuff. And
Yeah.
actually, so January, why we're going to have a welcome back party, obviously for the students, it's also the 1 year anniversary
Of the
of
pub?
the pub.
Oh, that's so
right, 'cause
true.
it's hasn't been around
It's
very
young.
long.
No.
Yeah.
young.
Yeah, she
She's young.
1 year old, 1 year birthday party. Is she gonna get a cake?
Maybe.
Ice cream cake?
Oh.
Ooh.
See,
maybe?
now we have to have these things.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
With sparklers as candles.
We'll look into getting a cake. Actually, a little bit of a plug, but the supervisor there, Bree, she makes cakes and cupcakes and all kinds of stuff, and they're so good.
Does she have a business for this, or does she just do this?
She
for
has a
fun?
business. I don't know what it's called. I think it's
Okay.
Creations by Bree on Instagram.
Okay.
I might be wrong, but literally you could go to the pub and just be like, "Hi, I'm looking for Bree. I want her to make me a cake or
Very
cupcakes."
cool.
They're so delicious.
I like
that's-
cupcakes because it's like an individual cake. You know?
Yeah, you don't have to overeat.
Have you had those like cupcakes or I think it's like maybe a brownie, but it's in a mug?
Like a lava cake
Like
that
a lava
you have
cake.
like
yeah.
in a cup.
It's like
No.
it comes like in a coffee cup and you just make it in there.
oh
and then-
yeah.
And then you just kind of like dig into it, and it's like an individual
like a-
brownie or a cake. Yeah.
Well, at Denny's, I used to work there, and literally their chocolate lava cake, it was in like a little bowl, but
Yeah.
it's almost like a cup. And
Okay.
you put, literally all it is you put like chocolate fudge and then cake
Oh, yeah,
batter,
yeah.
and then you just put it in the microwave for like a minute. And you
Yeah.
have lava cake. I've made it at my house
That's
before.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
that is
good.
dangerous. Exactly.
It's so good and so easy.
So, what are some things that you can expect coming into school in January? Say the difference between coming to school in January and September.
It's definitely colder in January.
Yeah, obviously, weather-wise.
Yeah.
But, is there any because there's that frosh week as or not, frost week as they say.
Oh,
come January,
yeah.
right?
Ooh,
are there-
people
are-
say that?
I've never heard that.
I feel
really?
uncool because I've never
I think
heard
you just coined that phrase.
I don't know. I don't want to.
No, I'm giving it to
You
Reed.
heard it here first
All right,
on
there you
SA
go.
Voice Podcast.
Frost week.
Frost
And if it's
week.
not a thing, SA,
It's a thing.
it's a thing now.
It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. All right.
For me, the winter time is always I have to be a lot more on top of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I agree with
I don't
that.
like the cold, and I think after you
Mhm.
come back, like you're just kind of not in January. January is not as bad because you almost get bored over
Right.
Christmas because it's such a long break.
But
And then
come
you come
February.
back, but come like end of January, early February, I just feel done.
yeah.
Like I don't
So
want
like
to leave
right
my
around
house.
reading week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I come back from reading week, it's the worst.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's terrible. I always feel like even though February is the shortest month,
It's the coldest though.
it's the coldest and it feels like actually the longest. Like you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
actually that's the one month you are counting down the days
Yeah.
of when this
and
March
it's only
over.
28 of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
You know, and it's
wild.
brutal. I hate it.
29 this year.
Is
Leap
it
year.
29? Oh yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
But it's almost like that opposite energy where you come into school in September and then you're energized, like you're ready for that first day of school, and then come January, it's kind of like you're not really willing to come back, and then come exam season, by the time it's spring, you know, it's
You're
you,
just
you have
done.
that
Yeah.
energy, you know, like
Yeah.
it's sort of like
Well,
a
it-
nice, this is over.
It goes back, I think, a little bit to what we were talking a few weeks ago about the winter blues. They hit really hard for me come the new year, right? Because it's colder, the days are shorter,
Yep.
and we're coming back to school, and it's like. It's like you said, the break is long, so it's like I'm ready to get back to school. I'm really motivated. I'm pumped up, and then that's like ooh,
Yeah, it's a quick draw.
Yeah.
it is.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, just last year, my resolution was to maintain that a little bit better because
Yeah.
I knew it would happen. So I was like, okay, I can't let this happen. And just
Right.
and like a personality note too, like I just didn't want to feel so crappy come
Right.
the winter time. So last year, I worked really hard. I tried to go to the gym a lot, which
Yeah.
really helped.
Yeah, the
I
gym actually
tried
does
to-
help a lot.
It helps
for
a lot
sure.
because it gives you those like spurts of energy.
Yeah.
Even if you were to just do like a 30-minute, like
Yeah, it
whatever
doesn't
you can
matter.
do in your day,
Yeah.
just like
Even just cardio.
exactly,
Yeah.
Like cardio,
exactly.
push yourself, get your heart pumping, and then you feel so much better.
Yeah.
And then honestly, my agenda saved me in this winter
Oh, yeah.
semester
Yeah.
because I think too September you're so okay, I'm gonna stay organized, everything's gonna be great.
Yep.
And then January you kind of lose that a little bit.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot more chaotic.
Mhm.
It's in that aspect, Yeah, I don't know. I like keeping my calendar, but like at the same time, like you said, it just kind of like
Mhm.
I don't really keep it. Like I keep it like when the drop happens, it's like oh well, maybe I don't have to put it in my calendar. Maybe I don't have to do it.
Right. Yeah. Or you forget and then you're like, well, I haven't done it for 2 weeks, so why would I?
Exactly.
But I think that's part of it is like, just because you have a goal that doesn't work out within like the first month of January doesn't
Yep.
mean you can't pick that back
Oh,
up.
absolutely. And I think it's about recognizing that everything's going to come in waves and you're going to have those lulls,
yeah.
right? Where you're going to have those dips because I think with the resolutions, like especially come, January 1st, you set out
Yeah.
resolutions, and the very typical one is I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in shape.
Yep.
That's always the most common one. Or whatever it may be, like I'm going to get better sleep, I'm going to stay on top of my schoolwork or whatever it is. And then that first week or first month or first even 3 months,
Yeah.
you could be totally on top of that. And then the minute that you hit that lull, like it's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of like you just drop it. And so I think for myself, like when it comes to New Year's resolutions, I think the idea of a resolution is a fantastic idea. Like if you
Yeah.
want to make a change for yourself, like you should totally do
But
that.
you shouldn't have to wait for New Year's.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
It's setting goals. You set goals
Exactly.
for yourself all year round.
Yeah. Like if you know what your resolution is, say come December 1st, why don't you
Just start December
December
1st.
first.
just start then?
Yeah.
Why?
And a
why
lot of
wait?
people do.
Oh,
a lot of people
absolutely.
start planning. They're like, oh, what's my New Year's resolution going to be? But I feel like that's a little bit, sometimes people are like, if I think about it now, then come January, I'll be really gung-ho and I'll just do
Yep.
it.
Yeah, but if you're not motivated today, that motivation probably won't happen on the first either.
No.
For me, like I know for my resolutions, I try not to. Or in recent years, I've tried to stay away from a resolution, to stay away from like, oh, I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat better.
Right.
I'm going to do something like that. So what I've done in the last few years is just like try to gain a skill. You know what I mean? Like I have a full cycle around the sun to gain a skill. And it's like this last year it was cooking. I wanted to improve my cooking and do things better, so
Right.
I did. And
Right.
that all was, I'm already gonna cook, so
Right.
why not cook a different dish, something that I don't usually cook, or try
Yeah.
to do something a little more complicated, and my skill elevated. So now I'm a better cook, and it took me a whole year, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's I definitely am better than what I was. So I feel like for me, something like that is better because I wasn't following my resolutions.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
like you said, you
But
know,
that's
a month or
something
two and-
that's very accomplishable for you.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you set up a small goal, and instead, like I think people think that like they're gonna conquer the world, like that. I'm gonna get in shape,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do all this stuff. But then if you set out those small goals,
Exactly.
if you say I'm just gonna do this one thing, like cooking better, which even for some people, like that kind of routine can be really hard to fit
Yeah.
into.
Yeah,
That's true.
Even
Right.
cooking dinner every night, like that can be
Exactly.
difficult.
Yeah, I don't cook dinner every night.
No.
There's no way I could.
But
you
the
know,
idea
but-
was to be I'm gonna be a better cook.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you had no exact, I'm gonna do this and this and this every day.
Exactly.
You just said overall I'll be a better cook.
Exactly.
I think that is better too because you're setting yourself up for benefit, right? You're not
Yeah.
setting yourself up for failure. You're not like overpiling your plate.
Exactly.
You're
Mhm.
making these goals that you probably would make throughout the year anyways, and then you're reaching them, which is ultimately, I think, a great goal for people. When
Oh,
they go
yeah.
into the new year, they're like, oh, I just want to be like happy and healthy this year.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they set those small little goals throughout the year, and then there you go. They made their
exactly.
resolution.
And
they're happy. And
they
they're
planned it
healthier.
out and they did the work
Yeah.
to make sure that they could accomplish that goal
Exactly.
instead of just going into it, blind.
Yeah.
But you know what do you say? You know, it is doing the work. You know, it's
Mhm.
like for me in cooking, it was just like I could have made the same things that I know that I'm comfortable with making every day or whatever, but instead pushing yourself and doing that work. And it's like I know this dish may take me a little bit longer, but it's doing the work. And it's the same thing with
Yeah.
going to the gym or
Yeah.
whatever the resolution is. It's just doing the work to get there.
yeah, and the time management.
Oh,
Get there.
Oh.
Exactly.
Book in some time, even if it's like an hour. Just do something.
Yeah. No.
Mhm.
I mean, someone explained to me once, changing your routine is like carrying a baby.
Oh.
And
Wow.
it's like
Whoa.
you have
Yeah.
to, you have
I'm
to
sorry,
be,
was this a woman that told you
yes,
this? Okay.
Yes.
If it wasn't, I would have had to be like,
Wait, like carrying a baby in your arms or carrying your baby in like your belly?
no, carrying a baby in your
Okay.
arms.
oh, in your arms.
in your
okay,
arms.
that's not.
Not-
I
not-
thought you meant like in your
No,
belly.
No,
Like
see,
you're
I can't relate to that.
creating
No,
a child.
I'm
Okay.
trying to do something that we can all relate to.
Okay, cool.
It's
Cool,
carrying
cool.
a baby in your arms, and you have to, when you carry a baby in your arms, you have to be obviously very careful with
Yeah.
it. It's very gentle, and you have to, take your time with it and ease with it. You can't just start running with the baby.
Unless
Like-
strapped in.
yeah, exactly. But that takes time to get those straps.
Yeah.
It's like So I think it's just about taking your time and making sure that you're very careful with the routine that you've already set out and changing it. Because trying to just do a flip would almost just be like throwing the baby away.
Interesting.
Throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could potentially make things worse too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the baby
absolutely.
cry.
Yeah.
Like then you're
We never
Or
want
they
make
have a
things
dent on their
difficult.
head for the rest of their lives,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
Instead of being dropped on their head as a baby, they were literally thrown.
Yes,
chucked
exactly.
across the room.
Exactly. You imagine? Wow.
That
Wow,
could be
wow,
your
wow.
resolution.
Throwing babies across the room?
No, that could be if you set yourself up
This
too
is,
big.
this
You're
is
gonna
a hole
throw
that
your
we're gonna get
resolution across the room. Don't throw babies.
No, babies are supposed to be carried.
Gentle.
Gently.
There
I
you
also
go.
don't think you should run with a newborn baby, even if it's strapped in.
That's true.
I don't.
I don't think you're supposed to because their head,
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that you're not supposed to do with newborns, and it's funny because it's like okay, off topic a little bit. Like I see a lot of people with brand new babies and I'm like, I don't know if you're supposed to be doing that, like taking them
Ooh, really?
outside, like in the cold.
Okay, well,
Or
you can take your baby outside.
I don't know. I wouldn't take my baby out in the super cold.
Is it all bundled up?
Yeah.
Like snowsuit,
You know,
gloves,
Like that
hat.
big puffy snow.
that's another thing. Like I saw a lady the other day. It wasn't a brand new baby, but it was still a baby. And he was in a snowsuit or whatever, but his pants were all the way up, so his little bit of his leg was exposed, and it's like the baby
Yeah.
is just sitting there like la, la, la. It doesn't say like I'm cold, like my leg is cold. I don't know. Sometimes I feel bad for babies that they don't.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I've definitely had that thought more where if it's chilly out and I see the baby's not wearing any shoes, I feel like that's not okay. But you're not gonna keep your baby inside the whole winter.
I would.
I
If I'm
would.
cold, baby's cold. It's like the dogs.
They
If
need,
you're cold, they're cold.
But they need 15 minutes of outside time.
And they need to know what the snow is. So maybe throw your baby in the
Yeah,
snow.
Throw your
they need
baby
to
in
make
the
a
snow.
snowman
Yeah.
from day one.
Yeah.
Like they need to know exactly.
Especially
what
if you
those
were
things are.
born in December.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to.
You have
Yeah.
to.
You have
Yeah.
to.
You might as well have been
Your
born
birthday's coming
outside
up.
in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't that how Canadians are born though? Like,
Always in winter?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, we're not born in the summertime, spring, fall.
No.
Just the
nope,
winter.
just winter.
No,
We're
you
all
go
bred in the
south.
winter.
If you're pregnant, you're
Yeah.
due in June. You go south.
Exactly.
You don't have it here.
Do you guys have a New Year's resolution or a goal or something that you guys are setting out to do for this year?
Honestly, not much different than like the goals that I set last year in
Right,
2019. Like I kind of just want to continue
Just improve upon
doing what
those
I'm
goals.
doing and just continue moving forward in my life, like
That's
in my
really
job
interesting.
and in school. Like I'm getting my first little credential and getting my advanced diploma this year, and then I'm
Nice.
going into the BBA. So
Nice.
it's like I just kind of want to continue.
And that's nice.
Keep the
because you-
momentum going.
Yeah, like I just don't want to hit a wall or,
Yeah.
or like,
Exactly.
you know,
Totally.
I feel
And you
like
didn't
that's
set a
good goal.
deadline for yourself to reach that goal, right? So that's
Before I die.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go.
Like
There
I
you
just,
go.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not like I like to plan. I like to strategize. I'm that kind of person.
Do you write things down?
I write
Like,
everything. I type it now, anti-paper. But I do like I look back on all my goals. But I'm more open with myself with the idea of things changing.
Mm.
okay.
If I'm going down a path and I'm doing different things, there's always something that comes up. And
Okay.
and it might change my original goal or my original plan,
right.
and I'm kind of open to that,
Right.
which
Okay.
took a lot of work.
That is
'Cause
hard to do.
I
That
used
is
to be
hard.
like, no,
Mhm.
I can't veer off this path. This is the path I'm on. This is where I'm going.
Right.
But then I was like, I'm not doing the things that I want to do.
yeah.
So that kind of
Mhm.
switched.
Yeah.
But yeah, very simple, very just like continue doing what I'm doing.
Just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
That's very cool. Very
What
cool.
about you guys?
I don't sleep a
Mm.
lot, so that
That's-
is
I
a big
feel
goal
you there,
Student
brother.
life, yeah.
I mean, I think I'm trying to work towards going to bed at an earlier time
Mhm.
and just trying to overall make sure that my health is maintained by my sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, sleep is so important.
It is
Yeah.
so important. You know, like I used to sleep probably 4 or 5 hours a night,
Wow.
and I would wake up, before the sun came out to go to work, and like I would wake up, yeah, I'd be fine. I'd
Mhm.
go out throughout my day and I'd be fine, and then I'd come home and I'd go to sleep at whatever time it is and sleep 4 or 5 hours, and I thought it was okay. And then I started sleeping 8 hours, and I was like, that was not okay.
That was not okay.
That was not okay.
Right.
I feel so much better and so
Yeah.
much rested.
Yep.
Mhm. And
Now,
everyone's different. Some people can go off of 5 hours. I'm jealous.
yeah.
'Cause I need 7. If I don't get 7 hours, I'm
And I
miserable.
Yeah.
I think I used to think that I didn't need a lot of sleep.
Mm.
When really looking back, I maybe did need all that
You
sleep,
needed
you know.
that
And
sleep.
now, I think ever since I hit 25, like if I don't get a good sleep, I just wake up and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
don't even want to function.
feel it in my
Exactly.
body, and I'm just like, oh, like
Mhm.
why would I get out of bed right now?
So-
Like,
So what is it that keeps you up at night? Like, are you on your phone? Are you watching
I mean,
a movie?
that's also the thing, right? Like, the screen time needs to like shut down at a certain hour.
Mhm.
I need to read a book
Yeah.
and
Reading actually really helps you sleep.
Same. Yeah,
It-
it
like-
makes you so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one thing too is just like even if I do shut down my computer and my screens at a certain time, just like I think all the
Yeah.
time. Like my brain just goes.
Mhm.
And I think just coming up with certain mechanisms to making sure that I'm following just like sort of like sleeping patterns. Like it's like a cliche
Yeah.
of like a counting sheep kind of mechanism.
No,
You know what I
that's
mean?
good
Like,
though. That's yeah.
like something like that. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be that, but just certain ways.
Well,
that,
that's like
help you fall asleep.
meditation.
Exactly, meditation.
Or what I use, because I'm the same way. Like especially when I'm going to sleep, I just can't. I overthink. And when
Yes.
you think
Mhm.
about the next, like I always think about what I have to do the next day,
Yes.
which you're not supposed to do, because then
Oh.
it tricks
Right.
your brain into thinking that
You're still
you're
alert.
awake and
Yeah.
you're supposed to be doing those things
That
already.
makes sense.
right.
I started using white noise.
Like
Oh,
rain
yeah.
or static or
So rain or static or that, I like, it's really weird, but I like airplane sounds.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Like as them flying by?
No,
the
like if you're on an airplane,
Oh,
but it's
yeah.
just the white noise.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea if like I had a dehumidifier in my room and
Right.
it makes that like whoosh.
Yeah.
It's that noise
Yeah,
that
yeah.
literally makes me fall asleep.
Totally.
Even if I'm overthinking. I'll overthink a little bit, but I just fade off into sleep.
Maybe
Yeah.
because it's like your brain is hearing that static, your
Mhm.
brain goes into like sleep
Sleep.
mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
usually, if I can't get to sleep, I usually read a book,
Yeah.
and that out like a light. You
Yeah.
know, like I'll read a chapter or two. Like I could have just like ran a marathon.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of
Yeah.
like awakeness.
Yeah.
And then I'll start reading in bed and like, done.
But it's just like you said, that's also like a form of meditation, right? It's
Yeah.
like staying
Mhm.
within the moment that you are and focusing on one particular thing
Yeah.
that you're doing. And that's, I mean, reading that book.
Reading
right?
that book or counting those sheep. I did hear not too long ago too that it's like if you have a routine like before you go to bed, like this is what you do, like OCD style almost, you
Yeah.
know. It's like that all can also help you a lot
sure.
getting to bed or
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah. Anything too, like they say that you should have your phone off and like no screen time, no TV, no
Yeah.
phone, no
Mhm.
nothing
Yeah.
for like at least an hour
Yeah.
before you go
Yeah,
to bed
at
because
least.
that I guess tricks your brain into thinking like it's awake time. Like it's the light in it that
Yeah.
makes your brain think,
And it
okay,
really messes your eyes too. Like it's
Mhm.
strange, especially like if your room's dark and you're like on your screen. It
Yeah.
can really strain your
Yeah.
eyes
Sure.
too. Yeah.
and social media, like it
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of sucks. That makes me overthink sometimes when I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, look at all these people who are in all these
Still
tropical
doing
places.
things, you know?
And I'm like, why can't I be in a tropical place?
Why do I have to be going to bed right now?
I'm in Canada. It's cold. It gets dark at 5. Like, I want to go to freaking
But there
Hawaii.
is, but there is sort of that FOMO idea, right? Where
Yeah.
it's sort of like, I think all day we're sort of consumed by knowledge and making sure that we're knowing like what's happening in the world.
Yeah.
And I think once we stop doing that, we fear of like, oh, did I miss anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's all that information is gonna be there
It'll stay
tomorrow.
there.
Like
It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Or what about waking up? Do you wake up and go straight for
Straight to
your
your
phone?
phone.
Yeah, I mean, because it's my alarms on my phone, right? So I do check my phone, and then my notifications are all right there. And
Yeah.
I get like
Sucked in.
a bunch
Yeah.
a bunch of notifications. Like sometimes I'll just get like first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I'm glued to it.
And that's it.
You know what
Yeah.
I did to fight that? I set my alarm so I wake up a little bit later. So I don't have any time to lay in my
Oh.
bed and look at my phone.
Oh, so
Okay, so you're
And I get-
purposely
And I get like 15 minutes more of sleep. So then I wake up and I'm like, oh, gotta get up, gotta eat breakfast, gotta brush
Right.
my teeth, gotta get ready, gotta go. Like there's
Wow.
no time for me to lay in bed in the
Right.
morning.
That
Wow.
makes sense.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess that's good because that's forcing yourself. And I guess you figured that out.
Yeah.
That if you just don't give yourself those 15 minutes to look at the phone,
Yeah.
you know, then you're not only not doing that, but you're also like more conscious of like what it is that you do have to do.
Exactly. You get up, right? Like you wake up.
Yeah.
It was a big thing for me. I always laid in my bed for hours and then weekends would come and I just wouldn't even get out of my bed really. And I was like,
Right,
okay, well, I
right.
just wasted
A
an
whole day.
entire day
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So that helps me to just like wake up, get going.
Well, I think for me, when I get up, I think I do need that bit of time to wake myself
I'm
up a bit.
there
For
with
sure.
you.
And
I'm there
so
with
many
you.
people
Yeah.
are like that.
and just sort of like, because I think these days what I do is I hit the snooze button a lot,
Oh
which
yeah.
is actually terrible for you.
Yeah.
Because after you've woken yourself up or you've hit that sort of that realm,
Mhm.
and then when you decide to hit snooze again, you actually like further yourself for feeling a lot more groggy after that, because you have those
Interesting.
little naps. that
Because you're
not
like, oh, I
supposed to
can
have.
still sleep longer. I can still sleep longer.
Exactly, and you mess with that
Hmm.
sleep realm that you have, and then you could be actually waking up at a particular time where like you were not supposed to.
Huh.
Because the 15 minutes, like, yes, technically that is your realm, but it really
Yeah.
can really mess with that.
You know what sucks about the snooze is like I know that I'm gonna hit the snooze 3 times. Like I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
know it's like, oh, this is the 3rd time I'm hitting it. Okay, once it goes off, then I get up. It's like, why not just get up at that time?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because ultimately you are going to feel a lot better if you do just
Yeah.
wake up at that initial
But
time.
your brain is in that routine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same idea. Like, I've gotten a lot better. Obviously, it slips sometimes because people slip. But I've gotten a lot better at trying to go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time.
Yeah.
To the point where on weekends, I will literally wake up at 7:15 in the morning, even
Yeah.
if I'm like, I can sleep in tomorrow. It's
Yeah,
totally
it doesn't
fine.
matter.
It doesn't happen because my brain is just like, nope, this is the time that you're awake, so
Yeah.
wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just automatic.
Yeah, but if it's like if I have too many days in a row, because the weekend's just 2 days, right? But if there's like a day off, or you know, like I have 4 days or something like that, and I start messing with that routine, that's enough time to mess with my actual routine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
Sure.
Yep.
So like if I like, oh, I'm gonna sleep in for these next 4 days that I have off, the next time that I actually have to wake up, it's like so much harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much, and it's not only harder that first day, but it's harder to pick up that routine again.
Yeah,
for
again
sure.
and
And you
again
got to
and
get
again.
back into it.
Yeah.
But it is important that you pick it back up,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the thing is everyone's going to slip on whatever your resolution is, whatever your goals are, you're gonna slip sometimes.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
how you pick yourself back up and try it again.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, don't just be like, okay, well, it failed, so that's over.
Give yourself that
Mhm.
energy back.
Yeah,
because
be
you have
like,
to expect that it's
okay.
going to happen.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with people on diets and stuff, right?
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
people
Oh,
slip
yeah.
on their diet, they have a cheat day, and then they're like, oh, well, there goes my diet, it's over. It's
Yeah.
like, no, you can start
Well,
over.
and
You're
especially
good.
with that too, because especially about nutrition and health, that there's so much bad information about there.
So
there's,
much
there's
bad
so much
information.
There's so much information that says,
Don't
oh,
listen
well,
to Goop.
if
Don't
you-
listen to Gwyneth Paltrow.
yeah.
Wait, what?
Goop. No, that's the name.
What is this?
Goop. It's Gwyneth Paltrow's like website or health guru-ness.
Oh.
Don't listen to her. Okay, she is like pseudo quack science, like all this made up stuff.
Wait, about what? Sorry, I'm so curious
Um,
now.
So there's just a lot of like man, okay. Like for women in particular, there's a lot of like putting things inside that'll make you, better, like eggs and things like that, like, and like there's like put mayonnaise in your hair, like just
that's
like,
actually really good for your
it
hair.
actually is. But
Okay,
like,
I see what you're saying.
but it's
There's a
just like
lot
a-
of like random things
Exactly.
that's she's just trying to make money off, and you're like, that doesn't work.
Exactly.
And it's like buy
Okay.
my product, not
Pretty
like buy
much.
just
Yeah.
any random.
Exactly.
It's not
Right,
going to
okay.
work if you buy it somewhere
Yeah,
else.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
What? Yeah. So, I guess like in terms of the just misinformation, right?
Mhm.
And so, just as long as like going back to that cheat day thing, and a lot of people say that like, oh, if you have a cheat day, and even if you're eating healthy about like 80% of the time in your week, you're
Yeah.
probably going to reach your goals.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's my
yeah.
opinion. But a
Mhm.
lot of people will say, "Oh, if you have that cheat day, you're going to gain more weight than you ever did if you just ate a bunch of junk food throughout the week." Which is like, no, that doesn't make
That doesn't make
that's
any
not
sense.
logical. But
And
like,
I've heard so many more diets, excuse me, and nutritionists that are like, have a cheat day. You're going to
Yeah.
feel better. It's
Yeah.
going to be better.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, because cheat days are that good.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
like right now, I changed my diet, and so I guess the label it would be a pescatarian, right? So I don't eat land-based
interesting.
animals. Yeah. So all seafaring animals are fair game, right? But like every once in a while, I want a chicken burger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
okay.
That's
You know what I
totally
mean? It's
fine.
not like my life is not. It's not gonna fall apart. You know what I mean? I'll
Yeah.
have a chicken burger, and the next day I'll go back to eating my beans or whatever. Like
Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan, when he was training for the Black Panther,
Yeah.
like when he was doing rigorous workouts, on Sunday mornings he would get up and go to this diner and he would eat like 8 pancakes or something. Like
Yeah.
he ordered like these like this is what I want to have. This is my cheat meal.
and
Yeah.
it's
Like, this is,
okay.
like
And it's okay because they say it doesn't affect your entire diet.
exactly.
It actually,
Yeah.
and some people, like if you're trying to gain weight, obviously it's a little bit different, but
If you want to build a little muscle, sometimes
Yeah.
eating those things is
and
cool.
you have to mix it up. Like your
Yeah.
body needs change sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
You can't just eat that brown goop every day. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
mm,
Yeah.
variety is the spice of life, right?
for sure.
Going back to sleep, what time do you guys go to bed?
Ooh. It depends, but usually around midnight, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. What about
So I go to bed
you? Oh, no.
usually like I'm in bed by like 9 and I'll be asleep by like 10:30.
Wow.
And then I wake up around like 7, like between 7. My alarm's always set for 7:15.
Right.
Some
Not
days I'll
7,
wake
you need
up.
those 15 minutes.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll wake up at 7 and sometimes I'll wake up at like 7:30.
And you're very good at doing that, like in bed by 9.
I'm good. I'm not perfect.
Right.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
definitely like I've had busier weeks or
Right.
and
Yeah.
I have some nights where I just like can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm up till like midnight, 1 in the morning, still wake up at 7:15.
Right.
Those
Yeah.
days kind of suck. But like yeah, like I've gotten really really better at being in a routine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's honestly just because I started doing it. So then when
Yeah.
I didn't do it, it sucks.
Right,
Like
yeah.
even
Yeah.
now when I have those off days, I'm really, really tired
Right.
the next day.
Like
And
you
it's
crave that
mostly
sleep.
because of the routine, the missing the routine.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, there's
Mhm.
sleep, yes, but it's a lot that routine that
Yeah.
got messed up too.
And that was hard to get into. So when
Yeah.
I first started, I actually was like, as long as I'm asleep by midnight,
Right.
I'm golden. That's how it
Interesting.
started. And then naturally it just like got pushed a little bit more.
Because you got up so early.
Yeah, because I
Right,
got up so
okay.
early, so then I was more tired and I wanted to get more sleep, so I started going to bed early, and then it just naturally I would just get tired. Like at 9 o'clock, I'm exhausted.
That's it.
Yeah.
Your
I'm
body
like,
already
"Okay, go
knows.
to bed." So much fun when my friends ask me to go out, and I'm like, ugh,
I'm in bed.
I'm so tired, but I'll do it. Oh my God.
Yeah, see, I'm always the sucker for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I'm halfway through sleep, if someone asks me to go out, I will.
Oh yeah, I'll always go. I just might be yawning at the dinner
Yeah,
table.
exactly.
Like, should be in bed right now.
Danny, do you have a resolution at all for this year?
I think I'm gonna continue with my, like gain a skill kind of
Cool.
thing. I'm not entirely sure. I'm probably gonna with cooking, but I want to gain a skill this year, not like continue one. I think I want to do like something in the arts, learn like an instrument or like learn.
You were saying that
to
you wanted to
paint.
play the saxophone, didn't you?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Right.
I went to Joe's Mill to rent one,
Right.
and they were gone because all the kids use them for their music. And
Right.
stuff.
It's the time of year too.
Yeah.
Everyone's Christmas.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to find a saxophone,
Very cool.
Nice.
and just go to town on it.
See, it's funny
Cool.
because you always hear people that's like, I'm going to learn the guitar or I'm going to learn the piano
Yeah.
or even like the harmonica or something.
Right.
Like, those are always ones.
Harmonicas are amazing.
They are.
I never hear like anybody that doesn't play an instrument to be like, I'm just going to pick up like the saxophone.
Oh.
Oh,
Like I think,
so
but I
cool.
mean, like even though it's like a cool instrument, like I think
Yeah.
that's awesome. But it's just it's funny because like that's not a typical like go to.
Yeah, I guess-
But I think that's very cool.
It's just like I just really love the jazziness
Yeah.
of the
For
of the
sure.
saxophone, and it's so sexy.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
Oh, okay.
so sexy.
Yeah.
It just is. I don't know what it is.
I've
about the
had a
Interesting.
saxophone in most of the bands that I've been in.
Yeah.
And it's
Nice.
because I'm like I love a saxophone.
Yeah.
They
and who
sound.
doesn't?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
They sound amazing.
Yeah.
One thing I would recommend instrument wise, a little bit of an easier approach.
Kazoo?
Ukuleles are really easy.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pick that up, no problem.
So, funny story. You know what ukulele means?
No.
So it's like uku is flea, right?
Flea, okay.
In Hawaiian, it means flea, and
Interesting.
lele is jumping. So like when you play the ukulele, it's
Oh.
it
Like
looks like
jumping
jumping
fleas?
fleas. Because like when you're
Cool.
picking
No
at
way.
it, yeah,
That's really interesting.
Wow.
yeah,
Neat.
yeah.
I
So,
do
fun
like that
fact.
idea of learning a new skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I've wanted to learn to knit.
You know what? If you go to anywhere that sells like yarn and stuff like that, you can get a loom and just make a scarf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, you can just
Learn how to make other things.
learn to make other things
And
once you
that
get the
embroidery
sticks and
stuff,
stuff like
too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
I mean,
really
it's
fun.
what's cool about. I made a scarf once, and what was cool about that is like I was watching a movie, watching TV, and then just
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and that's my thing too. And like even when because I take the bus a lot of the time, so when I'm on the bus, I like want something to do because
Yes.
I'm listening to music, but I'm like I want something to do with my hands.
Yes.
So it's like knitting would be so awesome on a bus.
and that would take you away from your phone.
Yeah, and 'cause
Yeah.
they always the go-to is like you download a game on your phone and play that.
And play
Exactly.
that.
And that's a terrible
Exactly.
idea.
Or
Yeah,
what's
for
going
sure.
on the gram, or what's going on
yeah,
here.
exactly.
And instead,
Mhm.
now you got you're knitting something, or you're
Yeah.
you're doing something on the bus. And
See, with knitting, like, and maybe this should be another New Year's resolution of mine, is that like I'm very impatient, and I feel like just
Ooh.
like that
Mm.
is just like I don't know, like I think I would just go crazy. Like,
Yeah, that's a good thing to work on. Maybe not necessarily with knitting, but just like little things.
yeah,
like
true,
being patient for the pizza guy to show up, or like being.
Oh, that's never gonna
patient-
happen.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, baby steps.
kidding, I'm
baby
kidding,
steps.
30 minutes or it's free.
Yeah.
It's actually. Like,
I'm over. I'm taking the time.
did you know they upped it to 60?
Oh no.
They upped it to 45 minutes.
No.
And then recently they upped it to 60.
I will say I'm okay with that in the winter because road conditions are
See,
kind of rough.
I'm not
But I
okay
want my
with it.
pizza. I want my pizza.
I want it in half an hour. Like, there's no point in me ordering pizza.
With that
anymore.
standard, it means that it's okay to be an hour too.
and that's the thing.
They always do. They're always right up. Even when it was half an hour, they would show up.
right at
29 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but yeah, I don't like that if they keep pushing that standard back, and then we're the ones losing. I want my pizza
I
now.
want my pizza.
I want my pizza in 30 minutes or less.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 60 minutes, that's too much.
Too long.
No.
So you spent the last year improving on your cooking skills.
Yeah.
So what is like an easy favorite meal that you would recommend?
Easy favorite meal. I've been cooking so much paella.
Oh.
Like
Ooh.
I cook paella probably once every other week, sometimes even more often than that.
Yes, what is paella?
So paella is Spanish. It's a Spanish dish, and it's basically a rice dish, right?
Okay.
And it's like a jambalaya. You ever had like a jambalaya?
Oh, yeah,
It's,
yeah.
It's almost the same thing.
Okay.
You know, just like some of the spices are different.
And it's like it's still with shrimp and stuff like jambalaya.
Yeah.
And
So like I guess traditionally it's made with like chicken and chorizo
Yeah.
and like
Right.
shrimp and stuff like that. But I don't eat chicken and chorizo anymore, so I just
Okay.
put like shrimp and like squid or
Oh,
just
I
a bunch
love
of
squid.
octopus and stuff like
so
that.
just a bunch of seafood.
Yeah, but the thing about like paella, it's like it's in steps. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you can't just throw everything in and then just leave it.
Mhm.
Right.
So you have to watch it, you know, because you put something in, let it cook down, then you put something else in, let it cook down,
Right.
put
Right.
something else in.
So this is
Let
not
it
a
cook
slow
down.
cooker kind of meal.
No, I made one last night actually, and it probably took me an hour and a half, 2 hours to
Wow.
make because it's
Wow.
like I said, you know, it's like, well, it's like the prep, you know,
Mhm.
chopping everything up
Mhm.
and then putting things in and then letting it cook, putting something else in,
Interesting.
letting it cook, putting something else in, letting it cook.
Wow.
Yeah,
That sounds
Okay.
delicious.
Yeah.
I really want one now.
yeah.
Probably go to the pub and buy like a burrito or something.
Yeah.
Closest
Just
I'm
go
gonna
to
get.
Mucho or just any other
Maxi
burrito
wrap.
place, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Mexi wrap downstairs.
Those are actually pretty good.
hmm
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, I
Very
think
cool.
we talked a lot about resolutions. And
Yeah.
we gave a lot of interesting advice. We're very wise
We are.
individuals.
That's us.
That's
this
who we
should
are.
be called the Wise Podcast.
The
So
Wise
wise.
Podcast.
The Wise People Podcast
Giving advice, student advice.
from St. Lawrence College.
That's right.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, we've reached the end. We gave a lot of advice. I think to sum it up, moving forward with your resolution, continue with the goals that you have. If you are going to make a resolution, set yourself up for success.
Don't
set
beat
your-
yourself up.
Don't beat yourself up. If you fail at some point during the first couple months, pick it back up again. You can do it. Just keep trying. Try different things, different ways that work with you.
And don't wait till January 1st and don't set
Yeah.
that deadline for the next January 1st.
New
you
Year's
know, just-
resolution is
It's an all,
anytime.
It's an all
Yeah.
years
It's
resolution.
there you go.
All
All
year
year resolution.
There we
Love
go.
it.
That's the
That's
name of the
right.
podcast
Yeah.
today. Yes.
All year's resolutions with the wise people.
Wise People Podcast.
With the wisest.
Okay, so let us know what you think about this podcast and if there's anything you want to see moving forward. So our handle on Instagram is at SA Voice Podcast. What's your handle?
At Sneaky Pig 1.
At No Middle Name 13.
Perfect. And I'm at L Isadora. So you can keep up with us by tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Don't forget to call, leave us a message at extension 1677. Make sure to check out what's going on around the college. Again, all the events are posted on all the Bristol boards around the college. You can always go to the front desk and ask. We have a nice calendar in the SA, and you can go to the SA_SLC Instagram page. And visit the website, saslc.ca. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
All right.